Hi, good morning, and welcome to Childcare Challenges at Dilemma Daycare. My name is Tashieanna O'Connor. Today we have Marcus with
How you
us.
doing?
And Marcus, you're a dad,
Yes,
and
I'm a single father.
a single dad, right?
hmm
Just tell me a little bit about the struggles and the challenge that you go through, even to obtain the custody of your kids, and when it comes on to childcare and the support system that you would like to see in place and changes that you like to make for dad across the board.
The financial part is always the biggest struggle. But that's only half of the battle. You get what I'm saying? The real biggest struggle, I guess, is just to give your child that sense of security and understanding. Being a single father is definitely hard because society is always against you in a way. You know what I'm saying? It's not set up for single fathers or let alone a man to how you say prosperous because women they have most of the resources. That's not a problem. But society believes that a man can do great on his own. But man is only human, and a lot of people, let's just say society, overlooks that. They overlook men's mental health, their emotional, status and standards and things like that. Especially when it comes to being a single father, because you worry about your kids so much, and you worry about if they're doing okay in school, have they eaten, what kind of people and crowds they're around, are you teaching them right? One of the biggest things I feel like that needs to be implemented when it comes down to helping single fathers is just a resource for them to be heard and understood. A lot of the times when you see a single father, you don't believe he's actually a single father, or because you see a man, and it's like, he's a man. He's gonna do good either way. He's gonna be fine. And I believe that that's the wrong way to make the world go round. Because it takes two. It always takes two to make the world go round. If a lot of the fathers, who want to be there, but they can't be there due to circumstance, it really fails the child because women and men can be nurturing, but due to the ecosystem and nature's, the universe's rules, mothers are more nurturing in the eyes of society and things like that. But fathers are definitely nurturing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we care about our child and children's. Like my son this year, he has to find out what high school he want to go to. That's a little difficult because I don't want him to go to high school out where we at because the certain circumstances and environment of it. But how you say, I feel like men as single fathers, we need an outlet to be heard to help our children. You know, like we just need a good voice to be understood about where we stand.
So you're saying that you struggle as well as like a mom is like you're worried where they eat. Do they eat? Do they sleep? The school they go through, the friend they keep, right?
Right, right. And
It's
how you
the
gonna
basic,
raise them?
right? How you gonna raise them? While you doing it? Because like you said, mother nurtures, dad nurtures along, but that motherly stuff that you don't give, as well as the woman, that dad stuff that they can't give when they single parent. As it said, society look at guy as a whole as okay, he's a man, he could handle it, right? And when society thinks about single parents, they think about mom. Not saying
Right.
put dad in it, but mostly they associate it with mom. And the most they like, well, you should have done better. They blame the mom for everything, but not showing the part where dad also go through it, where mom also decided, no, what, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to be a mom. Where mom also decided, you know what, I just want to go outside and do me. I don't
Yeah,
have time for that, right?
that's
Where
that's
mom
real
walked
true.
away from the kid. When it comes on to childcare, when it comes on to finding someone to watch over those kids, where dads struggle, just like mom, to find a okay, a proper childcare provider. Whether you have support system or not, can you
Yeah,
trust them, right?
right, right,
Can you trust the person around the kids? It could be your brother, your sister, because with
right.
today's society, right, we have to protect our kids. Right?
Absolutely.
We
And
have to protect them. And the person that more attack these children are the one that's in your house, because it gets the closeness of your family. And you know your family well enough and know when you will believe your kids and when you won't believe your kids about something, right?
right.
It's that you worry about.
I'm actually going through something like that, a little similar with the mother of my daughter.
Hmm.
It's very unfortunate because I don't like getting personal, but in order to to connect to the people and just to connect on a humanized scale, I'm gonna be personal a little bit. Like around 20, I want to say 2024, I had a falling out with the mother of my daughter. Nothing crazy, but it just, regular love stuff, I guess. You know what I mean? We go our separate ways. She meets this dude. She goes off the deep end, has a whole nother kid, gets married, all within a year. You know what I'm saying? And now this man is around my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the mother of my daughter can't see that I don't know this man. She don't understand how there's rules in a man's world when it comes to being a father. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a man, you come to another man and you introduce yourself. You understand? If you're gonna be in someone else's child's life, you introduce yourself. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm not sexist at all, but when it comes down to the the entitlement of others, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't realize that their selfishness and entitlement will cause, you know, detrimental actions and sometimes harm to their child for the simple fact, like you don't know this person. And as a single father, me trying to explain that, like, yeah, the system doesn't recognize that I'm going through a whole bunch of BS because of a said person. And it's like I'm the last person to be like, thrown into the system and just down a roller coaster ride. You know what I mean? Like, so now, like I was trying to say, like now my daughter's around this man, and the mother of my daughter cannot fathom that, that's not her dad. Like, there's certain things you don't do. Like, there's certain things you do and you don't do. The system believes that she's just, they believe that I'm a certain type of person. You know what I mean? They believe I'm just a man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they don't really understand the stories behind or how I got here. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, when it comes down to being resourceful, they put a stamp on you and tell you go down the aisle, like, go on the conveyor belt. Like, and it's just unfortunate because a lot of the times, when you're a single father for real, you really like your mental is so high, like your stress levels is crazy. Like you get stressed out just thinking like how you gonna make it to work. You know what I'm saying? Who gonna
Welcome to a modern world.
like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Your stress levels is crazy. Like, like when I look at the women and single mothers and stuff, you can see their stress. You can see their stress. But like being in the shit, you like, damn, like, oh, you know? And it's like that's what makes the connection and the mutual understanding, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like most of the time we just need to really understand where each other's coming from. Like, uh,
Well,
you know,
let's talk about some of what you had, the sacrifice you made as far as they say, single father, as
I
far
don't
as
sacrifice
hanging out,
school, I don't sacrifice school, I don't sacrifice literally like
hanging out
like
with
most
friends,
I
social
don't
life.
not even the social life, but even like when it came down to certain career goals that I had that I want to do, like, you know, I love music before it was a thing. You understand? I was, we from the Bronx, like, it's a BXB next lifestyle. Like I was rapping way back in yonder, like 2009 and 7. Like I was really, and I was like, I started to really like wanted to be on the stage and stuff like that. I was getting me a little few shows. And then but then it's like you got a kid, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you there at the handoff, you know what I'm saying? The mother gotta go to work, or it's time to switch off. You gotta make sure, you gotta sacrifice something to be there for your child. Like I don't sacrifice my education for real. Like not on some like how you say it had to be done, but I just felt like it was the best option at the time, which it was, because my son now, he's definitely growing into the man I want him to be. Like, he's definitely responsible. He sees that, the struggle and sacrifice that I go through. He looks in my face and he understands, like my son understands, like being a man and being a young man at that is no joke. Like you gotta be observant, be smart, be humble, like especially being a black man in America.
Right. And that's the biggest thing we gotta tell our kids every day, and that's why they need their dad, whether single or not, or two household, they need their dad actively
Absolutely.
participating in their life. When he was younger and to find childcare, how difficult was it to find someone that outside the family member, right? Because family member gotta work and family member gotta do things. But if you don't have that, and at times when they're not available, how difficult was it to even find somebody reliable and the childcare expenses and how were you would handle those parts?
Especially babysitters. Like, say you did try to find a babysitter, like childcare. Me personally, and in the beginning, it was definitely difficult. The head starts is okay, they're nice, but you don't really, you don't want to trust people you don't know, especially if they don't know how to handle kids. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
children are children. A lot of people need to understand that. Like, kids are always gonna be sporadic, unpredictable. Hungry all the time, tired. Demanding. So like, who's gonna be around your kid or if they can even handle your kid. So 9 times out of 10 is definitely difficult. It's pricey. You don't know how many hours the child is gonna be there for. I remember one time I had to go to work and I had to call out. I had to literally call out certain circumstance, like the mother of my daughter, stuff like that. Especially when it come down to my son. Like I remember one time the mother of my son, we think not got into an argument, but it was on like a back and forth thing because we both want to work and get some type of money. You know what I'm saying? So me being a man, I felt like okay, like I don't want her to work, but then she don't want to feel like she's not making her own money and things like that. So I'm like, I'll call out. You know what I'm saying? I'll hold it down here. You go do your thing, and I'll make up for it elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate because both parents deserve to have money, and at the same time, you definitely want to be able to provide for your kid. And it's like when it comes down to like the childcare stuff, it's definitely expensive. Some babysitters want 30 an hour. If you can't get a good babysitter, you know what I'm saying? Like you asked out, like you know what I'm saying? Like that adds up. You gonna pay a hundred a day. You know what I'm saying? Like
And that's New York, so hey, I'm from the Bronx as well, so
you know,
how expensive it is in New
go
York.
ahead, especially when people they like, nah, I ain't gonna watch nobody else. I don't even want to watch my own kids. Like, and that's what's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? People would watch other people's kids for money, like certain things. But
Right. So let's talk about the legal system and how the struggle that you had to face and even I don't know if the custody battle was easy or was it hard, but
well,
with that legal system you feel like you being a man, do you feel like you have to do more of a man to show the court that listen, I could take care of my son and more to show that I'm here for my son than the female world, right? Do you feel like that right there was a struggle and home when it comes on to you obtaining custody of your kid?
absolutely, yes. That alone, like the whole legal issue of it was, you know, my circumstance was definitely different. But even so, like certain agencies was involved, certain things happened. But even then, it was an uphill battle because they was trying to talk some bull. Like, we gonna have to, he's gonna have to go to the system. Well, what are you talking about? Like his pops is right here, like I'm right here. What are you talking about? Like, and it's unfortunate, very unfortunate for the simple fact, like for people to even think and fathom, like okay, well, just because you don't have certain things, not even a home, not even let's say like having a roof over your head is mandatory, but just in case you don't have certain things, you're incapable of parenting your child.
Hmm.
Like, bro, that's my child. It ain't yours. You understand? Like, and that's what's upsetting about the system because who was the system to sit there and deem who was fit to raise their own child? You know what I mean? Like, it's understandable that the system would like children to go to school every day, but if there's something going on in the home, it's life because of the system. You know what I'm saying? And it's very unfortunate how you have to slit your wrist and write your name in blood on paper to prove to the court and legal system that you're capable as a man, as a father, to watch over your own child. And it's unfortunate because for women, they just talk 2 sentences and oh yeah, here you go. Here you go. Yeah, take your kid, go on about your business. Oh yeah, you want child support for the father too? Okay, over here you go. No problem. Like they don't think that what they're doing will affect in the long run, but is detrimental to the child and detrimental to the father for the simple fact, what happens if I just don't have the funds or the means to pay child support? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What if the whole reason I'm here is because of the woman that y'all see in front of y'all? You feel what I'm saying? And they don't know the whole story. They just see a man, they see a woman with a complaint, and it's case closed. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate because there are definitely single fathers who want to kill themselves for the simple fact the mother of their children are making it hard for them to be a father. You understand? It's like, when it comes down to the legal thing, they just see a man. Oh, well, you don't got it together. The mother can have the child. You know what I mean? Mind you, they don't even know if the mother's capable of being a mother. You know what I mean? Like a lot of women do have postpartum after giving birth. You know what I mean? Which is unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? And postpartum is no fucking joke. It's sad to even talk about it, but like, like I have
it, so it's
you
not.
know, and yeah, like I'm not a woman, you know what I'm saying? But I done observed many, plenty of women, my family, friends, and postpartum is stuck. Like it ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel as a man, that's when you pick up the pieces and you do your part. Like I've always done my part as a father. You know what I'm saying? Like the mother of my children, they hate my guts, but they would never ever try to take away that I was, I'm a great father because I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no matter how much they hate me, they will always tell me and they always say that, like, yeah, you was there, you was there for your kids, all of that. And it's like the legal system wouldn't even see that. You know what I'm saying? The legal system wouldn't see me feeding my child bottles and stuff like that, like taking over her role, you know what I'm saying? Without a complaint, you know what I mean? Because that's what a man would do. You feel me? And it's like, if they had that record of anything, they would see, like, okay, he's definitely capable of it. Like, taking care of his child and stuff like that. And it's unfortunate because even when it comes down to legal issues, like, unfortunately, my situation at the moment, like I said, with the mother of my daughter, she got this picture of me painted horrible. You understand? And by the grace of God, luckily, my partner, my lovely lady, she's there to witness everything and understand. Like, if somebody else to see my story and hear it, they be like, "Yo, nah, this is crazy. Like, this is wild. Like, how the?" But she literally sees that the abuse and power, and it's crazy because she's from different ethnicity, all sorts of stuff, and she really sees it. Like I can't believe that the courts would just do this. Like they just allowing her to do this. Like they really like. She not even following the rules. Like my mother, my child don't follow the rules. Like we supposed to have visitations and certain shit set up. She not even following the rules. And it's like she only getting away with murder because she told some people certain things. Like for instance, the mother of my daughter upset because I didn't want to be with her, right? She did some foul stuff to me. As a man, I'm not jacking you. I'm not. Why would you think I'm jacking you? If you ask me a question, I say no. Why would you think I'm jacking you? Why you know? So I move on. She don't like that at all. She still to this day is trying to get me crucified because I don't want to be with her. I literally don't want to be with her. I was not jacking her. I let her know it was over. All that. Long story short, she pop up at my lady house. She causes a scene, all sorts of craziness. She tell the police, "Oh yeah, he beat me this time and third." Bro, how? When I don't talk to you, never there in the house. It's all on text messages. Crazy. But because she told the cops whatever she told the cops, they took my dumb ass when nothing happened. You understand? Like it's so unfortunate. What I'm saying, like my lady was there to witness everything, and they still took me. Right? It's so crazy. This is 2025. Yeah, like 2025, the beginning of 2025, last
year.
January. Wow. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, for a whole year, I've been fighting for my life, fighting to just survive off of what she said. Mind you, it was a bad arrest. Like it was horrible. Like my lady called to protect me and her from my crazy ass mother of my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how for the life of me that these officers just like, oh yeah, he a man, he did that. Oh, come here. Like what? And I literally ever since last year have been fighting for my life. You know what I'm saying? Like just by grace of God, the case has been dismissed and all of that because they know it was a bad arrest. They know that there was nothing going on at that scene, that it was all sorts of wrong. But because she's a woman,
but the damage is already done.
The damage is already done, exactly. And that's not, and not only that, I wasn't able to assess nothing of the system. You know what I mean? Like as a defendant in the state of New Jersey, you have no help. It's so disgusting how the New Jersey law system works. At least in New York, they give you a chance. They'll sit there and be like, yeah, I don't like how I'm seeing here, but I might give them a chance. But in Jersey, it's like, nah, you a defendant. We don't want to hear what you gotta say. It's just a woman. We gotta protect her. We got weird stuff. They don't even know what they're doing. You understand? And it upsets me because, like I said, she got into a whole relationship, got pregnant, got married, all because she feel away. All right, all because she feel away, she's gonna ruin her whole life, her daughter's life, without even knowing it. What she's doing now, and she doesn't even fucking know it. But the system is crazy because it's like it really over a few words that they don't know the story. Like, I'm an abused man, bro. Like, I never thought that it was possible. I never thought a man could be abused, bro. I swear, I'm not even gonna call you bro, but I never thought it was possible for a man to be abused. You understand? Like,
It is.
like me personally, I know right from wrong. I know as a man, I make mistakes and stuff like that. I could sit here and say, "Oh yeah, I cheated on you," and I apologize dearly. But especially being young, as a young man, listen, we human. This should be a different book of life about this, but we're human. We all make mistakes, especially when we're young. You know, it is about when are we willing to rectify that and repair the damages. You know what I'm saying? And as a man, that's what I did. I tried to sit there, rectify the damages and stuff, but she took advantage of that in a whole different way. And it just comes back to bite me in my ass because now I haven't seen my daughter in a year. I just seen her for the first time over a year last week because of this whole situation my baby mother had that threw me in. Like, you know, I threw myself in it too, I guess, because I was messing with her. Like, I was, you know, I had a child with her and stuff like that. But that's the only crime I'm really convicted of. Like, yeah, you feel me? Like, and it's unfortunate because I always try to tell them on my daughter, like, bro, you need to think before you do something. Like, you can't just let your emotions lead you because when it comes down to it, and them people's in your life telling you where to go and what to do, you know, it's not a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that you want. You don't want somebody to tell you have to go to, you know, take your child to visitations in the courthouse, and your daughter and your children have to see these people, and it's a situation that could be traumatic for them. It's unfortunate how the legal system really treat men who really want to be there. Like, I'm a man who want to be there for my kids. People know how I get with my kids. Like, I love my kids to death. I would sacrifice my everything, my soul, everything for my kids.
And that's the thing. The system look at women as women will be the one to give the sacrifice for their kids, right? I'm a woman, and this is why I tell you when as we first spoke, I noticed that there is like more single fathers and more dad coming up, but then a lot of people don't speak about this.
Yeah.
We think about single parents. We just like the mom. I'm a mom of 8, right? I'm a mother.
Oh, gangster. Congratulations.
My husband and I, we have 8 kids. So that's it. So yeah, I'm a
That's
mom.
blessings. That's
Yes,
blessings.
Bill, I have boys, right? And women also are toxic as well as men are toxic. But we don't talk about enough what women do, and the pros and the cons on both sides, right?
And I'd say,
Struggle that guys go through, and how detrimental is it when it comes on to the legal system for men? Because like you said, with your son, when back to your son, when you was gonna go and get everything, for a woman, they would give her, she could go to the shelter, she would get it with no problem, right? They got in place. DCF would be like, or ACS would be like, all right, you know what? Let's go to parenting classes. Let's do a support group. Let's do this for the female, right? You really find a men's support club that comes out for male. You really find stuff that's there for male that said, okay, you're a male. Here's a support system. The thing for you. All right, I understand that you want to be there for your kids. Since you want to be there for your kids, here's the handbook. Here's the guidance.
Yep. And it's so crazy because the same resources, some of the same resources women get, men can use. But even then, those resources is like, you know, you're a man. What are you doing here? Like, you know, like you said, take a handbook, take a piece of paper, read that. You go, you know, you be in the right direction. With the women, they just, you know, hand them all these things and, you know, set them on the right path. And at the same time, I feel like it's bad because it's not bad, but it's bad because you're basically condoning and congratulating bad behavior. You know what I'm saying? They definitely support the woman more to go on by herself. You know what I mean? But like, I'm not sexist, right? I'm not sexist at all. I hate how people be like, you know, man, women, certain things. I hate that. You know what I'm saying? We are human at the end of the day. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying in general, like, you know how they it's the real sexist people who be like, oh, nah, like, we are human. And it is true. You know, they give women more resources to move on and do better while the man sinks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a man. And it's unfortunate because every child, I feel, needs their parent. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, like I said, I was an abused man, yo, and I hate saying that. It's so embarrassing. It's crazy. It's crazy to say that. Like, I got scars on my face.
And you know what it is? I was just talking to a young lady before. She's an author too. Her book is available on Amazon. Her name is Paula. I forgot her last name, but she if you listen to my podcast, and she said the thing is this that about men, and right, most of them like men walk around with guilt because and the shame and feel the shame, like, okay, I'm a man. How can I tell someone that I was being abused,
And it's like they don't believe that. They don't like people laugh. You could tell your boys about it. They be like, yo, boy, she beat your ass. Like, but they really don't know. You feel me? Like, yo, I really could have lost my life multiple times. Like, my dumb ass didn't realize, like, I'm in a situation where it's like, she don't fucking love me. She probably do love me, but she don't know what love is. All sorts of crazy shit. Like, you really tell people, like, yo, I'm going through this, or this, that, the third happened. You have maybe 3-5% of people who would really listen and be like, yeah, bro, like, nah, you need to dead all that. Da, 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 da. The rest of the people gonna laugh, like, bro, you a man, how you letting her do that? Or just walk away. You know what I'm saying? Love makes us do crazy things. No matter what color, ethnicity you are, bro, you're not walking away from certain situations because it just the energy of the universe and certain things is locked in that we can't see. Like, I'm really honest. We all like there's life after death, whether y'all believe it or not. Energy is a real thing. We can't see.
Right.
You understand? So when you say you love somebody and you really in it, you in it. You know what I mean? Like you want the best out of that, even if that person died to you. You feel me? Like my thing was that shit to me. Yeah, she was shit to me. Like. And she would feel like sometimes I would be shit to her, but that's only because she wouldn't hear me. She wouldn't understand where I'm coming from. Like, and it's so crazy because she was a bad drink. You know what I'm saying? When she got pregnant, she stopped drinking, obviously, but it had to take her to be pregnant and realize, like, oh yeah, maybe I do need to stop drinking. Maybe I am a bad person because this and third. Like, and even after she gave birth, she still was kind of a shitty person. Like when it came down to postpartum, she was really depressed. So I was really the one really doing everything for real. Like, when it came down to my son and all that, like, my like same thing. Like, the postpartum kicked in, and I really was the one taking my son out every day, feeding him, swapping up for real. Like, and then they just forget. They just forget everything that you do as a man. You know what I'm saying?
But the court system and the legal system see that as a man, and if the woman don't advocate for that to say, listen, when it comes on to being a dad, he's really a dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take more women to advocate in your behalf. But then again, why would I advocate if I want to bring you down, right?
Exactly.
If my goal is to take you down, if my goal is to make sure that you have no kids, if my goal is to make sure that, listen, you're paying me child support, if my goal is to make sure.
And that's the crazy part. That's what's sick. And it's like, I don't know if it's a thing of like survival, but that's exactly how they think. Like some women think, you know what I mean? Like, I need to think about the kid more than you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna have this kid the whole time more than you. I'm the one who birthed and carried the kid. I'm gonna have the kid by your choice. I'm sorry, dumbass, by your choice. Like you're choosing that. To what? To make it seem like you want to be a single mother? To make it seem like you're the best parent in the world? But in reality, you get frustrated that you really don't want to be a parent? Like certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't put up a facade, you know what I mean? Like, just let me be a parent too. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with, a man helping and actually being in. It's just unfortunate how we are overlooked, especially when I know there's fathers out there that can break their necks and backs to make sure that their household is provided for, and it just goes under the rug unnoticed. There should be something for real fathers that show that they there. You know what I mean? Like society can't change because y'all keep saying that the man is the cause, the man can't do this, the woman should always do. Y'all saying that, y'all doing that. Y'all not giving nobody a chance to prove anything. You know what I mean? Like you're not giving a person to prove anything. You're just crucifying them. You just already judging because that's what's been told to you before. That's what the system has been seeing. They're not looking elsewhere to be like, oh, well, I see that he's actually been trying. He's actually been sacrificing everything. You know what I mean? Let's get him some help. Let's get him a new place. Let's get him a couple bus cards and things. You know what I mean? Let's see if we could get him on some more food stamps, extra food stamps or something to feed him and his,
Right.
All the mother's got to do is say, oh, look, I need help. He hasn't been doing nothing. Meanwhile, he probably been giving her $500 and she ain't telling that to welfare or whoever, And it's just unfortunate, especially when it comes down to the legal system. Legal system doesn't believe in man, It doesn't believe that men are capable of actually, like, bettering society. That's how I feel. I feel like if you're not going to give a man a chance to better society, how are we going to be better as people? Like, especially when it, like, just a side note, especially when it comes down to women's rights. Like, I believe that women should have a chance because they're human and they should have a chance for the simple fact, like, you need to be heard. You know what I mean? Everybody should be heard. Everybody should have a chance at something. You know what I mean?
So what would you like to see in place, right? Being from your story and stuff that you've been through, what would you like to see in place to help dad like you that's out there? What would be better if they had to bet to help your situation?
To be honest, I would say, if there are legal issues, they need to be more rules and help resources for defendants in certain situations. I feel like certain stories definitely need to be heard and examined. Um, especially when it comes down to child care. Say if you're a single father and you really just don't have the help, like there should be a safe place for you to leave, your child, and you should feel, secured at the end of the day, like as fathers, we really don't get a lot of information. Like it's so unfortunate. Like I said, like with my situation, I can't even like call a school to see how my daughter been doing.
Mm.
Like the last time I called the school, they said, "Oh, we can't tell you no information." I said, "What?"
Wow.
But they don't know that my baby mother lets my daughter miss school on purpose. Like the mother of my daughter doesn't. She won't take my daughter to school if she don't feel away. Like if she feel like she just not up to it or she late, she won't let her go. If she feel like my daughter's too sick, maybe if it's just a sneeze or a cough, she ain't gonna take her. Like just certain things. And now that she got this baby, like it's so upsetting because I asked my daughter when I seen her. Like I said, I ain't seen her over a year. First thing I asked her, how's school been? You been going to school? You know what she said to me?
Mm.
I don't want to talk about it.
Wow.
I said, I was about to cry. Like, Mama, what are you saying?
How old is it,
7.
baby?
7. She just turned 7 last year.
Wow.
And it's been going on since she about 5. There's been an ACS case in Jersey, whatever they is, because her cousin, she had a fight with her cousin. And at the same time, my daughter don't be going to school. And they just allow her to keep my daughter, no problem. They not answering no question. Yeah, they contacted me. Dyfus contacted me and they want to see what's going on, see what kind of life I was living in the Bronx and stuff like that. They were surprised when they saw my house. They was like, no, that's very nice. Like it's homey as hell. They got family paintings up, everything nice and neat. Like they was expecting some other shit. I'm sorry,
Right.
part of my first. They was expecting like trap house or something. Like
Right. Because as
you
that
know,
society take man, right?
you
Especially
feel me?
and the fact that you have custody of your son even make it like, okay, you have custody of him and you're doing so well, you know?
That's a fact. And not only that, it's like they don't even. And sadly, to say in Jersey, they not really. I don't want to mix that up because like it's two separate states. But like the mother of my daughter tried to say some fast stuff. Oh, he got custody of his son. Like yo, bro, leave that out, bro. Like
That's
this,
good though. You
it
have
is,
custody of your son, show that you are a positive father.
it
You were
is,
doing good,
it
and your
is.
son is going to high school, right? He's going
Yeah,
to
yeah, he's going to high school. He's going to high school.
right. And it showed that you're doing something positive, and I'm proud of you for that. I'm really don't ever be ashamed of
Yeah,
doing stand the God and be
I
that cheerleader and be like, I
I
did it,
appreciate that.
boy. I'm
I
proud of
appreciate
you.
that.
I'm
Eric,
proud of you
I
for it.
I
If
was
you
just
want
saying
to
that
see you have
yesterday.
custody of your
Yeah,
son, yes. And
yeah, I was just saying that
they said
yesterday.
I always
Yeah.
are. Yes, I got custody of my son. Yeah,
Eric, look, I was just saying that. I was just
yeah.
thinking that, like, I was really proud, like, of how how far he came. Like, the struggles be real. Like, you be worried, about a lot. And it's definitely unfortunate. Like, rest in peace to Christopher Redden. I didn't know him, but just seeing his father on the news and explaining certain things, like, like, yeah, like, it's definitely hard being a single father. Maybe he not, and he probably wasn't a single father, but even if he was, it's still hard being a father and, to kids because it's not seen that we worry just as much as a mother worries for their kid. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't let that be exposed. You know what I mean? We have to show that we're strong and impenetrable. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, like we care. We care a lot.
You
You know what I'm
break
saying?
down, feel you cry,
Hell
you
yeah.
have guilt, you have concern, you have
Yeah,
fear, just like
you just be
mothers do.
crying. Like you just be crying sometimes. You just sit there and you just start tearing and you just like you don't want to be talked to. You just want to sit in your solace and be upset.
You need mental break, just like mom need mental break. You need that alone time, just like mom do. But then
Right.
society don't see you can handle it. Oh, what are you gonna do? Just hang out with your boy. But even if it take that time to go get a cigarette, to
Right.
get a water, drink
Have
a
a couple
whatever,
laughs.
you
You know
need
what
that,
I mean? Yeah,
right?
have a couple laughs. That's what it is. And it's crazy because a lot of people who have kids, they have pardon me, friends. Even that, you grow a distance from your friends sometimes. You know what I mean? Like So part of that even, messes you up because it's like some of your friends have kids, some of your friends don't.
Mhm.
The friends who don't have kids can't understand that your time is limited because you have a kid. And the people who do have kids, their time is limited because they have kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
So
right,
it's like you really don't have that outlet or time to just breathe and take a quick breath, like.
right.
And it's just, things need to change. If people understood that it really takes two to make the world whole, 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it's common sense. We need to have more common sense. It's not about what we want as people and stuff. It's about what we need to do as a society. You feel me? Like even when it comes down to child support, like it's unfortunate because sometimes some men probably just don't have it to pay child support. Then they got to go to jail and sit in jail for a week because of what? You know what I mean? Like why? How is it a thing? Even when it comes down to taxes too. Like I'm not, just certain things is like some parents, they take all of the money. They file for the kid, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Even some parents who don't work, they file for the kid because they the mother or they the how you say the custodian parent. That needs to be changed too. I know you could file for like both parents could file for kids now, but that still messes things up because at one point you might have to pay some of that back or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it needs to be something regulated where everybody wins. At least it be on a minimal scale. You get what I'm saying? Instead of everybody loses. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So you're
Like
saying that in all actuality, there needs to be a fairness across the board for both parents, right? And there need
absolutely.
to be some form of a more support thing. So, what would be an end note and what would be advised, especially young fathers that's your age that's out there and listen to this? What would you tell them?
To be honest, what I would tell them is you should have kept your swim trunks on. But but to be honest, I'll just tell them like it gets better, be smarter, and think long term. Like, if certain situations you feel in your heart, like as humans, we know we can feel and we know what's going on. But we just look the other way or we still go down that dark road. And that's because of how we feel, what we think. You know what I mean? Like,
Don't make your emotion get the best
yeah,
of you.
exactly.
Come
Don't
back.
let don't
Okay.
exactly don't let your emotions get the best of you because that's our biggest enemy as well, though. You know what I mean? Like emotions, period. Because if you don't have control of your emotions, you let your emotions run you, they're gonna run you into a ground or a wall.
Mm.
Like I said, like we do things when we're emotional and we don't think straight, but we have to think long term. We have to think about those kids. We have to think about the children. You understand? Like me personally, I've always told the mother of my children, we don't have to be together, but we have to coexist. We have to co-parent. And co-parenting isn't one-sided. It isn't like 60-40, 30-70. It is 50-50 or 100-100. Y'all both either get 50% to make it 100 or y'all both give 100 to get 200%. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. And what about, because you said something earlier that I would like to put with an end note about boys, fathers, men, right, that are being in an abusive relationship, that are being abused and feel like they can't talk to no one, feel like there's no way out. What would you tell them? That listen, like you said, your life depend on it. You could have got killed earlier, right? I was in an abuse relationship before I met my husband, right? And thank God my husband is not that way. What
mm,
you said to some men, I can't speak from a man's perspective when they're being abused,
right,
to speak from a female perspective and the reason
right.
why we choose to stay. What would you say to a man that feel like, okay, I'm being abused, but I want to stay for my kids? What would you
Yeah.
tell them? How would you tell them to get out? What note do you have? What message do you have to send to them?
Listen, I was one of those. I literally told myself every day when I used to get my hair pulled out, I used to get punched in the nose, all sorts of stuff. I got scars on my face from her scratching, just beating the shit out of me. Like, don't stay. Period. Like,
Mm,
give it time, give it space. I know it hurts to say that, but everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants that, but it's just not worth it. Like, I look back on it and it really wasn't worth it. Like I was definitely trying to stay for my daughter for the simple fact the mother of my daughter wasn't up to par. She wasn't going to teach my daughter anything. I was really worried for my daughter. That's the only reason why I stayed. But in the long term, it made it worse because now she got the upper hand. There's a man in that house I don't know, and my daughter in there. You know what I mean? Like the best thing for you to do is just walk away and when you're called upon, make sure you called upon only for the kid. Don't let them use the kid as a pawn every time. Like, my biggest problem was when my mother and my daughter would call, she was like, oh, it's like, he's sick, da da da, I need you to come home, didn't you do this? But your whole mother, you're capable. Don't let them finesse you thinking that they're not capable of doing things. You understand? Like, they're capable, I'm not speaking for all women, but the abusive women out there, they know they're capable. They just rather you do it for the simple fact it makes them feel good to be empowered. Like, it's unfortunate.
So would you tell them that just like a woman would go out and file a complaint, get a restraining order, would you tell them?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Oh, also the biggest thing I'm gonna tell y'all, call the police. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't gonna lie, like just a side note, all the gang stuff, all of that, I hate street stuff, I hate all that. Like, I'm from the Bronx. We I have a past too, but let's be real people, let's be real. If you're really real, bro, paper trail. If you really real, paper trail.
Be the same way the woman would do it.
That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. Like, it ain't no, I'm weak, I'm a bitch. Nah, do this, paper trail, bro. Because we human.
Right.
We listen to society. I don't like society, but I live in it. But don't let society get you caught up, because your boys will probably tell you, oh, yeah, nah, that's a goofy stuff. You gonna do that. But they not living it. They're not the ones that's going to be in there when you, God forbid, in jail because you didn't leave the paper trail. They're not going to be there when, God forbid, ACS and DIFUS and all that is taking your kid away. You understand? You know what I mean? They're not going to be there when you leaving the visitation and shit. Like, this ain't me, but they're not going to be there when you leaving the visitation and you watching your kid go away.
Right. So that you tell them, call the cops, paper trail, always protect yourself. Always protect yourself first. The same way, get the evidence together.
Exactly.
Get everything. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone, to talk to someone, to let someone know that you are being abused, to let someone know that, listen, I need help. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. Your homeboys may not understand you, but there's always someone there. There's always an abuse hotline. Let them say you're the punk, be that punk, but be a safe one just for yourself and for the kids.
Yo, I had to actually call that hotline one time because she was just losing her mind. It was so stressful for me, and I just really wanted to just, like, I went to the bathroom. I just, I had to speak to somebody, bro, because it's like, yo, I'm trying to really be like there for my daughter, but you sitting here talking about some other BS about love and this, that, and the third, but it ain't got nothing to do about that. You know what I mean? Like, we here for a kid, like, especially when it comes down to a situation where you just shouldn't be in. Like, it really sucks. It really sucks.
Right.
And definitely call the police.
Right, call the police, 911, of course. And do you have the number for the hotline, for the abuse hotline, so just in case someone is going through it?
I don't know the number by heart.
Right. You could maybe call 211.
Yeah, you could call 211, 611, I think. No, 611 don't work no more. But definitely 211.
311, whatever he says.
Exactly.
I just want to look for resources. Right.
Go to your government, your official court.gov, whatever state you in. Make sure you have a paper trail, because when it comes down to it, you only live once, and you don't want to die thinking, what happened to my kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. That's the reality and truth of it. We don't want to bite the bitter fruit of life to really realize that we only live once. We're not going to be here forever. Right. So to make that foundation solid and make sure you really care about your kid, leave that paper trail. I remember I called the cops on her one time. She changed the whole tone. She ran out the house. She got out of there. And that was the first time I actually called the cops on her. I'm like, oh, like, I feel good. Like, I feel good. Like, yo, oh Lord, like, because it's that stressful. It is that stressful. Like, I never thought I'd be the type to really, like, yeah, hello. But when I did it, I'm like, yo, word, like, oh, you bad, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I know the cops are there to protect you. The men, are there.
Yo, for real. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, they didn't protect you and protect everybody. She dropped everything and flew, ran up the house. I'm like, yo, yes. Like, meanwhile, I ain't gonna lie, I was all fucked up and shit, but I'm like, yo, I'm still on the phone. Like, yo, I called them. Like, for real, I really called them. Like, I felt good because it's a stressful situation, especially as a man. Like, we know how to control emotions, especially to a certain extent. But if somebody's gonna keep pushing them buttons and beating you up, come on, man. You liable to do something that you're gonna regret. That's why I'm like, I'm calling them. Like, yo, I tell you, it was a good feeling.
Right, it's the best thing. And I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. And like I said, they have a single man listening session. I will pass the information on to them. So on the listening session, so you can come on and share your story more, because a lot
For
of
real.
people don't know, and a lot of guys are going through abuse relationships, single father struggles, and everything that
It,
they.
it it give me anxiety hearing that too. Like just to know, because I really went through that. Like I'm telling you, Lord, yo, I'm telling you, it's like, yo, I really never thought men could be abused, and I just never thought. Especially when it comes down to it, you think, women are nurturing. Of course they are certain things, but then they, some people, most of us as humans, I'm talking about in general, not just women, we have another side. You know what I'm saying? They have another side. You know what I mean? And then you got to think, how would they treat your kid?
Right, and that's what we gonna say. You know what?
They could sit there and say they love your kid, but do they really love your kid?
Right.
Like, but yeah, I really appreciate you too for giving me the time to express and just to get a little bit of my story. Like,
Right, and I
you know,
will. I'm trying to use this platform to create to have one guy share their story and speak out, and you know what, feel comfortable to talk, right, and just be heard and share their story with. And I thank you for joining us today in Childcare Challenges and Dilemma in Daycare, and I will pass this story on.
thank
And
you
like
for
I
having me.
said, 911 is the best friend. It's
911,
there to
man, is
protect us.
without a doubt. I actually saw a young man in court. He actually had a court order too. I'm looking at him like he by himself. He like, yeah, he want to continue the charges. I'm like, yo, this man's a lucky man. He got an order of protection. He doing good with his kid. I'm like, he lucky. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like,
and those.
of course I got my kid, but I'm saying as far as the daughter situation, I got a good
Right,
line. But
right.
yeah, I was really surprised. I was like, yo, that's what's up. Like he's a young man, like he really going through with it. Like, don't let people fool you into thinking, you soft because you gotta protect yourself and your long-term goals, bro. You born alone, you're gonna die alone, unfortunately.
And that's like I said, thank you for joining Childcare Challenges and Dilemma in Daycare.
I appreciate you. Have a great day.
You too.